I was at the corner of Palmer and McNeil. I was driving to work.
I was on the way to class when someone told me what had happened.
I was sitting at my desk. Someone came and told me, and then we all went into the communication room to watch the news.
I was in my car driving to school listening to the radio.
I was at work, and I was listening to a morning show, and they began to talk about it, and it became more real. So I went to my boss's office. He had a television. We turned it on to see what was really going on.
I was at work selling tickets to UT students.
I was at Champions Gym in Round Rock when I heard.
I was at home. I just got off a 12-hour shift.
Every morning at work, we'd start off with a 7 a.m. conference call, and we were in that conference call when someone said, "Have you guys seen what's going on the news?"
I was actually pregnant. I was in my 3rd trimester, and I was on my way to work.
I was at a business sales
meeting. I was
meeting.
at home getting ready to go to work, watching the news, when I saw it flash across the screen.
I'll never forget. I heard it on the radio and had to pull the car over. I was en route to Nashville, Tennessee.
I was at home at the time with my youngest, and my sister-in-law came over, and she said, "Turn the TV on." And so I turned it on, and she sat with me in the living room, and we watched the whole thing unfold.
I was working for the post office, and I was preparing a route, and someone said that the Twin Towers were hit, and so I ran to where the television was.
I was on my way to school. I was in high school, going to my first period class, which was theater. I saw a lot of tears that day.
I remember exactly where I was September 11th, 2001. I was 3 blocks away from the World Trade Center. That morning, don't ask me why, I decided to run for my train. I never run for the train. Not long after being at work, I was the first one there, the sales manager came in after me, and then he calls me to his desk and says, "Chandra, come here." And I go back there, and as I'm walking towards his desk, I notice there's papers just fluttering down in the sky. And I get to his desk, and he's like, "Look at that." And the 98th, roughly about the 98th floor, is on fire at the World Trade Center. As we're all now gathered around the sales manager's desk, supposing and figuring out, a plane literally whizzes past our window. And we all watch in horror as it hits the 2nd tower of the Twin Towers. And we're looking at the building just in awe, like we just can't believe it. And in less than the blink of an eye, the building crumbles. And then the next thing you know, we're just engulfed in black. We can't see outside. We can't hear anything. We have no connectivity to any phones, cellular or landline, because the largest cellular tower in the area was on top of the first tower. Anyway, after a while, we get like an alert throughout the building saying that we've got to evacuate. And I just walked, and all you could think about were the people that were in that building, what happened to them, what happened to the people on the ground, and you don't know what to think, and we just walked. When I reflected later on that day and its events, had I not ran for the train that day, I would have been walking through the World Trade Center at exactly the time that the plane hit. And what it told me was that the absolute truth that God does order our steps. And He was watching out for me that day. He saved my life and has been watching out for me every day since.